Hello everyone, welcome to this week's episode of The Dog Pound. I'm your host, Sydney from PhondDog.com. I'll be rounding up all of the latest news from the mobile technology world from last week, a little bit from this week. We have a lot to talk about, so let's go ahead and get started. So in iPhone news, we're hearing that the battery for the new iPhone could be about the same size as the battery for the current iPhone. Now this is a big deal because we've heard that the new iPhone could have a larger display and LTE capabilities, so you would think with all of that you would need kind of a larger battery. But a leaked picture shows a 1440 mAh battery for the iPhone 5, whereas the iPhone 4S had a 1400 mAh battery, so not that much of a difference. Now this could be a big deal. It could mean that the iPhone 5 is not going to have LTE, or it could mean that Apple found a way to make the battery more efficient and so you'll get the same amount of battery life with LTE capabilities, or maybe they found they had to sacrifice some battery life in order to add all those extra features. We don't really know for sure. We don't even know if this battery is real, but it's just kind of something else to think about in regards to the new iPhone. Now I mentioned that we've heard that the new iPhone could have a larger display, and here's one more piece of evidence to pile onto that rumor mill. One site used an iOS simulator made by Apple to run at a resolution of 1136 by 640, which is the rumored resolution for the new iPhone's display. Now whenever using iOS 5.1 at this resolution, it would kind of just stretch everything out, make the icons look a little bigger. It didn't really look that pretty, but whenever running iOS 6, it added an extra row of icons and still kept everything the same size. So obviously the simulator wouldn't know to add an extra row of icons unless it had been programmed to do so. So it's kind of something interesting to think about. Again, we won't really know for sure until the iPhone is actually released. Now, when will it be released? Well, we've heard an announcement date of September 12th and a release date of September 21st, and now we're hearing that pre-orders will actually be available the same day it's announced, September 12th. Now, this is still a rumor, so it's not anything for sure, but at least now we kind of have a date to look forward to, and you'll even be able to pre-order it on the day it's announced if this rumor actually turns out to be true. In other Apple news, as you know, Apple and Samsung are in court right now battling over some patent disputes and some trade dress claims that Apple has made, and it has not looked very good for Samsung over the past week or so. Apple found an internal Samsung report that highlighted 126 features of the Galaxy S, the original Galaxy S, and compared them to the same features of the iPhone, and basically said why the iPhone is better, why they're different, and how they can make the Galaxy S more like the iPhone. Now this is not good for Samsung. I mean, it would be one thing if they said, oh, this is why the iPhone is so great, it does this and it does this. Let's try to take something from that and maybe, put our own spin on it or try to make it better. If they did something like that, it would be okay, but they straight up said, this is what the iPhone does, let's make the Galaxy S do basically exactly the same thing. Now for a long time, I've kind of been against these patent disputes. I thought Apple was being a little petty with them, but this document, it's kind of making me change my mind a little bit. Obviously, we'll have to see what evidence Samsung presents, but this is definitely one thing that hurts Samsung's case. Apple also detailed its patent licensing offer that it made to Samsung in 2010, a year before it took Samsung to court. Now, of course, Samsung declined the offer, which is why they're in court right now. But it certainly helps Apple's case to know that they at least tried to, make an agreement. They made an offer to Samsung an entire year before they eventually took them to court. Again, we'll have to see how the rest of the trial plays out, but for now, I think it's safe to say that Apple kind of has the upper hand right now. Okay, so enough with the fighting and the patent lawsuits and the court battles, enough of that. Let's just move on to some good old-fashioned rumors. First of all, the Samsung Galaxy Note 2. We are now hearing that the Galaxy Note 2 could have a 5.5-inch flexible AMOLED display, which sounds totally awesome, but it's not actually as cool as it sounds. The phone itself wouldn't actually be flexible and bendy. It would just allow Samsung to make the display thinner and have the display be slightly curved, kind of like what we see on the Galaxy Nexus. Okay, so here's some Windows Phone 8 rumors. We're hearing that HTC could be announcing some new Windows Phone 8 phones in the third week of September. Now, we don't really know which phones they're going to announce, but we have heard of two HTC Windows Phone 8 devices, the HTC Rio and the HTC Zenith. The HTC Zenith is easily the better of the two. It has a 4.7-inch HD Super LCD 2 display, a quad-core processor, and an 8-megapixel camera. It's basically the HTC One X, but with Windows Phone, which is actually pretty awesome, and I'm okay with that. We're not sure if these are going to be the two phones that we see, but at least for now we're hearing that you can expect some new Windows phones in the third week of September. Now, if you want a phone with voice over LTE capabilities, there is only one phone on one carrier in the world where you can get that. And that one carrier is, you guessed it, MetroPCS. Okay, maybe that wasn't your guess, but MetroPCS has the world's first voice over LTE phone. It's the LG Connect 4G. Now this is big for MetroPCS because it allows them to use their spectrum more efficiently. Now MetroPCS was also the carrier that released the world's first LTE phone. So if you want cutting edge technology, is a prepaid carrier the way to go? I don't know, but this is definitely good news for everyone, but especially those on MetroPCS. So that's the news, and that is the show. Thanks guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure and check out the description below the video because I will have links to all of the articles that I talked about. But other than that, I'm Sydney from PhondDog.com, and I will see you guys later. Bye.